What's up, horror fam?
You know what time it is.
Let's get into this.
All right, what's up, horror fam?
What's up?
Look who showed up.
Yeah, we did.
We did. Go figure.
Telling you, man. I'm telling you.
It's our place. We can do whatever the hell we want.
We get to show up when we want to.
Yeah.
And clock in when we want to. Clock
It's my
out.
job.
I wish.
I wish it would. Yeah.
That'd be amazing. That's the goal.
Amazing.
That's the goal, bro. Yeah. Sorry for my
We
sip.
got goals.
I have a
But anyway.
sip. Anyways, what's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Not much. What's up with you?
Living the dream. Actually, telling you, I just watched freaking Studio 666 last night.
Yeah, dude. The movie is so fun, man.
It's pretty good, man. I actually enjoyed it.
I like the soundtrack to it.
Killer.
But, just the whole... It's a little campy, but, man, I really got into that. My wife was not a fan.
The whole chainsaw scene with Whitney Cummings and fucking...
Whitney Cummings.
That's her real name. She's a comedian, actually.
Cummings.
So in real life, she's a comedian, that chick.
Yeah.
So she's a pretty popular comedian.
I think it's pretty funny.
That's a really good
Cummings.
fucking scene.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That scene's really good. That's her favorite part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But no, that fucking scene's really good. It's just that movie is good. It's kind of crazy because it got me thinking. I went down the whole conspiracy rabbit hole in my head when I was watching it.
Right.
Because what happened shortly after that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. But anyways.
Anywho.
Fun movie. Great, great soundtrack stuff. I really love the music off of it. Killer. But
Well, I'll tell you what I've done this week.
I know what you've done.
I have watched, let me think about this, 3, 4, 5,
6,
8, somewhere between 8 and 9 hours straight of Pennywise the Clown.
That's right.
Wow, dude. I'm going to start this off with, so tonight we're going to be talking about the It movies. We're going to talk about the old one. We're going to talk about the 2 new ones. But I'm going to throw this out there just right off the bat. These movies were never really any of my favorite movies. The original I saw when I was really young.
Me too.
And, I'd seen bits and pieces of it, so, since I've gotten older, but I've never really sat and stopped and paid attention to the film until this week.
You're welcome.
And I tell you what, I gained a whole new appreciation for both of these films.
Yep, me too.
All 3 of them. I mean, it's weird. I think what we ought to do for this is we're going to talk old and new. So in my mind, it's only 2 films.
Correct. I'm with you.
But there is actually 3 movies
Right.
involved here.
And I can't wait for that Pennywise, the prequel.
Yeah, I did. I did hear something about that. I have not watched any kind of trailer for that.
I seen they had like a snippet of
Did
something.
they have like a sneak?
Yeah, like a
sneaky peeky
teaser trailer deal thing. It was wasn't very long trailer. It was very, very short.
Teaser.
It was very, very short. Kind of like me. I'm a teaser. Very short, not very long. I come in fucking blazing and just don't last that long.
A, B, and D.
Anyways.
Anywho.
So, yeah, we're talking about, as, JT said, we're going to be discussing the original and the new ones. And we're just going to kind of go over the original, then the new ones, and then, kind of compare them after we're done with that and kind of go from there. But, so, let's get into the original here.
Okay, so the original film came out in 1990. Let's see, what was I doing in 1990? Well, I'll tell you right now, I was 19 years old. I was smoking a bunch of weed and chasing women all over the place and playing a lot of music. And for me, that's probably why this movie didn't hit me so, when it came out. I watched it. For those of you that don't know, the younger generation, the original movie was actually a made-for-TV miniseries. And I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. It just wasn't my thing
at the time.
I'm a big Stephen King fan. I don't know that I really was at that point in my life, but of course I knew who he was, and I'm not a big reader. I don't read a lot of books. I have read a couple Stephen King books, the ones that I just absolutely love. For me, I love the movie Salem's Lot, so I had to read the book. But I never read the It book, and it's funny, I got a hold of a copy of that, and this thing's like, I don't know, 6,000 pages long.
Yeah, I got one on my
it's huge, and I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'd ever make it through that. Salem's Lot's a big book too, but
and speaking on the book too, there's some scenes in the book that are pretty gnarly.
So have you read?
I haven't read the whole book,
but you've read through some of it.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I haven't read it.
And I know people who. So my friend of mine actually gave me the It book, and he gave me Dreamcatcher, both those books.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some scenes in there that aren't in either of these. Which makes sense.
And we're going to talk about this later because there's a lot of stuff that they added into the second.
Right.
The remake,
the revisioning of it.
the retelling. There's a lot of stuff in the retelling of it that was not in the original. But from what I had gathered, I got online and did some searching and stuff. Stephen King liked what they did with the new version of it because it told a little more about some of the stuff that happened in the book that you didn't see in the original film.
And so the original, I was probably 5 when that came out. Close to being 5 when that came out. So, but it was a lot more nostalgic to me because I was actually able to watch that movie when I was a kid. And it was one of the original movies I've seen that was scary.
Yeah.
I
think for me it was just the whole clown aspect of it.
Well,
I honestly, and you guys can take my fucking horror card if you want, but until this week, I really didn't even understand what Pennywise was. Honestly, and I'm telling you right now,
you're fired.
What I did to myself this week by watching all of these together back to back really changed my perspective on both the original and the new movie. I'm going to tell you, the new movies, I didn't really care for them when I went. We went to the theater and saw them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they were good. They had some gore in them, and they had some cool effects and stuff. I just fucking hate clowns, And to me, it was a lot of fucking clowning around, and I had honestly forgotten what the big gist of the story was until I sat down and watched the whole thing.
Right, and then if you think about it, like the whole clown thing, that's just what kids are most scared. Kids are scared of clowns. But and it as itself is actually just the entity who takes which if you've watched these, which I'm sure you have. He takes basically the form of what you're most afraid of. So like, you got werewolves with Richie and stuff like that.
Right.
Like
and the leper with
with Eddie.
With Eddie.
It's just kind of one of those things where it's like what are you most scared of? Which, like you said, it hits a little different for me because I was young when I got introduced to it. You're older and in your own ways.
I'm old.
You're old as shit and in your own way.
Yeah.
No, but you were already kind of.
I was just at a different phase of my life,
right.
But let's get into the original.
Okay.
So I'll read you a little brief synopsis here. In 1960, 7 preteen outcasts fight an evil demon who poses as a child-killing clown. 30 years later, they reunite to stop the demon once and for all when it returns to their hometown.
Love that synopsis.
Not quite 30 years, but
right.
we're going to... let's talk about this original movie. Before I watched this, okay, so what I had in my head was the retelling of it,
right?
And when I watched the original, and it had been a while since we had seen honestly, the new movie came out in 2017, and I hadn't watched it since then.
Right.
I just, wasn't my thing. So when I watched the first movie, I was I was engrossed in it, but it had a lot of really good actors and stuff in it, and that you had that old school feel to it.
Narrating the movie,
the narrating the movie, and I'm just gonna throw this out there. This was like, to me, and I know millions of people have probably thought this was a horror themed version of Stand By Me.
Yeah, man. 100%. I feel that.
I didn't catch that the first time I watched it.
Right.
But now that I've watched it as I'm older, it made a lot more sense to me.
Right.
I don't know that. I mean, I understand what's going on, but I think it hit me different. Because now I'm older, I was able to pay more attention to the little things
and focus
on it, Yeah. But
and you're right as far as the cast goes. I mean,
you've got completely star-studded cast. I mean, you got Richard Thomas, Tim Reed, Harry Anderson,
Annette O'Toole,
John Ritter, and then of course Tim Curry as Pennywise.
Man, yeah.
We're going to do a little comparison later on in the episode.
Right.
But, just some of the people. And then when you look at the kids, I completely didn't remember that Seth Green played Richie Tozer.
Yeah, then you got Jonathan Brandis.
Yep.
I mean,
which I've got some cool trivia about that we're going to get into here in a little bit.
Okay.
But,
okay.
But yeah, I mean, Olivia Hussey, which Olivia Hussey for me and for most of the horror community, Black Christmas.
Pretty cool.
I mean, just a fantastic cast in this film.
Great acting.
And you got to give it up to Tim Curry because his portrayal of Pennywise was so creepy without being creepy.
Well, it's Tim Curry, man.
I mean,
he played in this movie. He was amazing, and by far, he played the greatest. For me, he played the best Satan.
Yes,
in Legend.
Yes, in Legend.
I mean, that character was just darkened. But anyways, we're not talking about Legend right now. But no. So
my favorite Tim Curry, of course.
I don't even want to fucking hear it. Shut your mouth. Don't even bring it up.
From the movie Clue.
You son of a... Yeah. I know what you're thinking, you fucker.
He knew where I was going.
I know exactly where you're going.
Because he's a sweet transvestite. But anyway. In this first movie, it starts out with the adults. I mean, one of the very first people you see is Tim Reed.
Yes.
And he's there at a Tim Reed is a librarian. He plays Mike Hanlon, and he's there at a murder scene.
Yeah, basically.
A child has been murdered, and he shows up there, and he realizes what's happened and what is going on and who it is. And he immediately gets on the phone and starts calling his buddies.
So for me, before we dive too deep into what's going on, I just want to reiterate what you're saying. I absolutely love the way this TV series was put together.
Yeah.
I love him narrating. Throughout the show, the music, the atmosphere, just the way they put everything together was just really, really awesome. For me, I think it's great. And granted, like I said, I was younger when I seen this, So it hits a little differently than it does you.
The music for this was different. Earlier I was going through and listening to like the soundtrack of it and stuff. And honestly, I was thinking about stealing some of it to use on this episode. And as I listened to it, I was like, nah, I don't want that shit. The soundtrack for this is really good, but it's
made for the scenes.
Yeah,
it's not
there's a lot of different transitions in music, but a lot of it is like piano concertos and stuff like that. And, and then you have like the carnival themes and stuff whenever Pennywise shows up. And, like most movies, they use the music in this to set the tone.
And it did great.
And it did a great job of it.
For
not being that hard-hitting music like you normally hear, they did everything with like classical kind of music.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's really weird. It really worked in this series. It really worked.
It did.
It just built that atmosphere up, and for some reason, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just because of the way it's filmed or what. But it really just brings you back. For me, like, I haven't really sat down and watched it in a long time. I can just
original?
Yeah, and pay attention to it, So, and I liked it because I could sit down and watch it with my kids.
Right.
Too, so that was always good, too.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought was cool, and I didn't realize this until I was watching the movie, is, I always tend to pay attention to the credits, because I want to know who's directing, producing, all that stuff, because I'm a fucking cast geek. The director for this is Tommy Lee Wallace, and why that is interesting to me is Tommy Lee Wallace did a lot of the Halloween stuff. Tommy Lee Wallace was the reason why Michael Myers is wearing the mask he's wearing. Because he did the effects and he did the costume effects in the original Halloween.
Is he the one that gave him frosted tips in part 4?
Well, it's funny because he ended up marrying Nancy Loomis.
Who is was he a producer on that, wasn't she?
No. Nancy was the girl.
Yeah, but who was? There's a Loomis who's a producer on there, or
on the original. No, not in the original.
Not in the original.
Now, when you get into the later films,
yes, there
is. And I always thought it was weird because Nancy Loomis, and you had Dr. Loomis.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're getting into a different thing. So anyway, Tommy Lee Wallace directed both of these. We said it was a mini-series. It was like a 2-night event that they did on TV. And, just really cool the way they put the story together. In this one, like I said, you start out as adults and then they bounce back to them as kids.
Yeah, back and forth.
And they tell the story about them as kids, but they're constantly just jumping back and forth. And it's not confusing. I mean, it's easy to keep up with.
Right.
Sometimes in movies where they do them time jumps so much, it gets a little hectic. They did it perfect. I mean, they would introduce you to a character as an adult and then take you back and show them, show what had happened to them and how all this played out.
Right. And one thing I'm going to say, I guess I'll wait.
No, go ahead.
Well, something that, and I absolutely love the original, but something that the second one did, the remake did really well, that they didn't do too well on this one, was the kids they had and the adults they had looked like each other.
Yes.
They looked like they could have actually been. Yeah. That fucking guy who played Ben could have been that fucking.
Could have been John Ritter.
Yeah.
It's really cool the way they did that.
But I think
and all of them, Jonathan Brandis, really could have been Richard Thomas,
Yeah,
John Boy.
I'm trying. Yeah,
John Boy.
yeah, that's what it is.
Tim Reed. What kills me is Tim Reed. My favorite thing that he was ever in was WKRP in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
He was Dr. Venus Flychair.
Jonathan Brandis, man, that kid, that dude was.
Yeah, Jonathan Brandis was on a lot of stuff. He did Sequest.
Freaking.
John Ritter was in Three's Company, and whenever he died, he was doing that. Eight Simple Rules for Dating My Daughter. He was Kaylee Kuko.
Yeah,
was his daughter in that.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, he passed away at a really young age.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
And
but Brandis died at a very young, like, didn't he? He
was 27.
Oh, he's part of 27 Club.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Which
we don't get into that.
There's some interesting trivia that I'm going to pull out here in just a minute.
Okay.
That it'll really mess with you, but anyway, just a stellar film. I mean, it really was. I mean, the way they put that together and the emotion that you were in watching this, and it was funny. So don't laugh at me. I've got the DVD.
Keep your pants on.
I've got the DVD for the original.
Right. Okay.
So I pull it out. I pull it out. Throw it in my Blu-ray player, and I'm watching it, and it starts out with the adults, and I'm like, man, I thought this started out with the kids, And then, anyway, I get to the end of it, like, the end of the disc, or the first movie, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought this was longer than this. Hold on. And then I'm looking at my DVD, and I'm like, fuck, I've only got one movie in here. What the hell, dude? And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, well, I wonder if I flip it over and put it in. Thank God the other movie was on the other side of the disc, because I'd have been mad as hell having to go find that, But it was funny. I've had that movie for a long time. I had to open it to watch it.
Yeah.
I honestly have not watched this original movie probably since it was on TV.
Damn. It's a long time.
30 years ago.
That's cool, though, because, like you said, you got that different perspective now.
So, and it was funny, the when they were kids and the first time they showed Richie, and I was like, oh, my God, is that Seth Green? No.
That's what my wife said. She's like, is that Seth Green?
No, that can't be him. And then I went back and looked, and sure enough, it was him. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Jonathan Brandis, I recognized him right away.
Oh, 100%.
I was a big Sequest fan.
He is in Never Ending Story.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, my sister had a big crush on him. He was in that movie Ladybugs with Robert Downey. Or not Robert, fucking God dang it. Jesus Christ. What the hell is my problem?
Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was in that too. My sister used to love that dude.
But yeah, very cool. I mean, some of the scenes, what I liked about this, and we're trying not to compare right now, but what I liked about this is there wasn't so much gore in it.
Right.
Of course it was made for TV. And I like a little bit of gore.
For sure.
Where I don't like it is when it involves a child.
Right.
That just kind of, it kind of turns me off.
Right.
And I don't know, maybe that's why I kind of disconnected with the new one, because they were showing us a lot of that.
It was like right off the bat.
I mean, yeah, they fucking slap you in the face right off the bat, and it was like, Now, since I've watched that movie again, I really like the new one, too.
Yes. Yes. Which we're going to get into.
Yeah, which we'll get into. But yeah, the restaurant scene.
Yeah.
In the Chinese restaurant.
Right.
When the frickin' fortune cookies come to life and shit. Dude, it's so cool.
So that concept, too, of them, so Mike remembers everything because he never left.
Right.
And then the concept that they
I guess we should talk about that.
They moved, everyone else moved away, and they slowly forgot over time. Hell, they even kind of made it a point to say that Billy almost forgot his brother. You know what I mean? Because when he goes to visit him at the fucking cemetery, when he gets back into town, he says, sorry, Georgie, I almost just completely forgot. He never even been there to visit his brother again. So it's interesting.
And they show you a really cool scene. So when he's at the cemetery visiting his brother's grave, Pennywise shows up for the first time to him. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, Pennywise has got 7 graves dug because there were 7 kids involved in this losers club. And the 7th grave is filled in with dirt. And at this point, nobody knows
anything about Stanley. Well, we do, but they don't.
Yeah, we know what's happened with Stanley, but
the kids,
well, they're not kids anymore at this point.
The losers don't.
The losers don't know anything has happened to him.
And he's, that's just Pennywise is like, pick anyone you want. He's like, except for that one. It's already taken, Yeah, man, it's a really good, really nostalgic movie for me. It's not like the freaking, this great thing, but for me, what I like about this movie is that it brings you back to a simpler time. Mm-hmm. So how you just mentioned gore and stuff, this brought you back to a time where you didn't have to have a whole lot of freaking gore to create that,
that terror
or that fear or just anything. Like, you didn't have to have all that to make it scary, to make it people think about it, to make, the kids couldn't get on Google and just Google fucking, now the kids are watching people get beheaded and shit on YouTube and Facebook all the time. Right. So it's not even a big deal anymore,
For me, it's funny. I have never found clowns scary.
Me neither.
I just think they're fucking annoying.
Right.
And I know people are petrified of clowns. And that was the whole thing with me with the original movie is like, why a fucking clown?
Right.
Like Jay Muse would say, you're fucking clown shoes. But I get it. I know exactly why they did it now.
Right.
Because that's how Stephen King wrote the fucking book.
Because that's what the cocaine made Stephen King do.
Yeah.
That's
cocaine
what the cocaine
is a wonderful
said.
thing.
That is what the cocaine said. Let's be honest. Cocaine wrote this.
Do it to it and write it down.
Oh, good Lord.
Gotta love Stephen King.
But anyways. So, yeah, the original,
Original, great film.
Really good.
Everybody should know this movie. So, I mean, we're not here to get into this blow by blow.
Yeah, and the original you can watch with your kids, too, if you haven't.
Just our thoughts on this. Yeah, the original, I mean, I wouldn't watch it with a 4-year-old, but...
You're right.
Your 8, 9, 10-year-old, yeah, why not?
Now, my 4-year-old, he would be watching it.
After they watch it, make sure you buy them a clown for their bedroom.
Yeah. Or just make sure you have a clown.
Or better yet, get a clown doll, and at night just move it around the house. Mm-hmm. So when they wake up in the morning, it's always in a different place.
Or tie
That'll really
fishing string to it and hide on the other side of the wall and pull the string.
It's like the kid says, "Dad, can I come sleep with you?" Dad says, "Hell no, I don't want the monster under your bed following you to my bedroom."
Yeah, then the monster will get me too. So yeah, this was good.
Oh, I'd have been a wonderful father.
Yes. I'm the same way. So
I'm a great mother. You mother. Oh.
Easy
peasy.
Cruise trip. Anyways, so let's get into the remake. We know how great the original is.
Yeah.
So the remake, I'm gonna say, when we first watched this, when we went theaters and watched it, me and you, like, I had a son that was like 3 years old, 4 years old at the time, I think. And, this movie starts off pretty, rough. Like, it
punches you in the face. Right off the bat.
And I literally was sitting with JT, and we were sitting there, and I look over at him, I'm like, dude, I don't know if I could fucking
Yeah.
handle this, man.
He did.
I'm like, that's, just everything reminded me of my son during this time. So, it is what it is. New father kind of thing. But got past that. So, I would say the casting was fucking excellent, I think. I actually really, really loved Eddie's character and the kid Eddie character in this.
Yes. Yeah, Finn Wolford. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Richie.
Him too.
But Eddie, Jack Dylan Grazer.
He was a killer. Like, I loved him because in the original,
he played it perfect.
Yes.
And the guy they used to play him as an adult looked just like him.
Could have fucking been him.
It could have been.
Same thing with Finn Wolford or whatever for Richie.
Yeah.
Same thing, dude. Could have been him. What kind of threw me off, though, for a second there is that scene when they're showing Ben talking, and you have the original Ben from the...
I was going to bring that up.
Because I'm sitting there, I'm like,
I wasn't sure if you knew that or not.
Oh, there's Ben. And I'm like, wait, that's Ben talking to Ben, basically.
Yeah. So in the new movie, there's a part in there where the guy that's playing Ben Hanscom in the new movie is actually talking to the guy that played the kid Ben Hanscom in the original 1990 version.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, kind of threw me off for a second there. And the kid who played Ben, though, Hanscom, in this one,
Jeremy Ray Taylor.
I actually like that kid.
Yeah,
he's
been in a lot of stuff.
He was in the Don't Be Afraid of the Dark
right,
series.
Goosebumps, Big Sky. Yeah, that was a show. I don't know if you've watched that.
I haven't seen that.
But
he was.
It was a cool show.
He was in Are You Afraid of the Dark TV series, or Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, whatever it is.
Yeah. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yes, he was in that. Which I really enjoyed. Something I can watch with my kids and stuff. But yeah, I like him as a character. And he did really good in this movie. But even his characters like that, he could have been the guy who played him as an adult. Could have been him.
Right.
Like, dude, they did an excellent job with the freaking.
I wish they'd have put these together.
Right. Yeah. Because I guess we're trying to scroll through here and see.
Because we're trying to see. Because I don't know what the guy's name is that. It's funny. They've got nothing but the kids on here.
I know, it's crazy. That's weird.
Okay, so we're going to have to flip over to the other movie here so we can see. So Jay Ryan is who plays Ben as an adult.
Right.
Which is weird because he was in the first. But anyway.
Anyways, yeah, he could have, he could have freaking definitely been in. Bill Hader, of course.
I'm sorry. None of these people were in that first. That's what really messed me up about the new movies.
Okay.
In the first movie, you never see them as adults.
Right.
They're kids the entire time.
Right.
You don't meet the adults until the second film.
Correct. Okay, yes.
And then they keep going back and showing them as kids. In the first movie, in the original movie in 1990, it was a constant back and forth. Kid, adult, kid, adult, kid, adult. It started off with adults and then went back to being kids. In these two movies, the first movie was all just the kids. They never showed them as adults. And it was funny because that Finn Wolford, one of the little trivia things that I had was all of these kids, they asked them, who do you want to portray you as an adult? Mm-hmm. And that Finn Wolford, who played Richie,
right,
said, I'd like Bill Hader to play me as an adult. They got Bill Hader to do it.
That's awesome.
And then Beverly, the girl who played Beverly, she said she wanted Jessica Chastain. She got Jessica Chastain to play her as an adult.
That's awesome.
None of the other kids got who they wanted. They all wanted like different people, but those were the only two that were.
Well, they did a great job on the cast.
They did because all of these adults in the second movie could have easily been these kids,
right?
Especially this Jay Ransone who played Eddie as an adult.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, that guy looked just like Eddie as a child.
I mean, but honestly, I think same thing with McAvoy.
with Bill.
And with Ben, like I said,
Or Ben, yeah.
It looks like if he lost weight, that's what he would look like as an adult. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Pretty crazy. Like, and even Andy Bean as Stanley. If you go back to the go down to the other Stanley as a kid, because he's on here, I think, because it shows him, right?
Yeah, right there.
Dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, and what's weird is looking at these pictures, because now all these kids are a little older, and then you can really compare.
Really see. Do you see what I'm saying? Look at that. Wyatt Olaf. He played Stanley as a kid. Look at that other dude.
Yeah.
Bro.
Could have been the same guy.
They killed it with the freaking.
Well, here he is.
Yeah,
right
look
here.
at that, dude. They killed it with the freaking. I mean, they did an excellent job with this,
And even the, Sophia Lillis and Jessica Chastain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they truly could have been.
Oh, granted, she had short hair in that, but.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, man.
Well, that's because she cut all her hair off.
Yeah.
But anyway, that first movie, man, there was so much going on there. But man, when you start a movie and I don't even know if we were 5 minutes into the movie and they fucking ripped Georgie's arm off. I was like, wait, holy shit.
And then, he turned around, he's all crawling, trying to crawl with one arm, and like, dude, and it's gnarly.
Well, and let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Bill Skarsgård playing Pennywise.
Okay.
I love Bill Skarsgård as an actor. I mean, he was great in that Hemlock Grove.
Yeah.
He was also in Castle Rock. He's done some other stuff. His brother's a phenomenal actor too.
Yeah, I like him.
But Bill Skarsgård playing Pennywise, I think that I'm just going to rip a Band-Aid off here. I think in the first movie, he was so good in the first movie, but the second movie, I didn't care for him as much.
Interesting.
And I'll explain to you why. In the first movie, Bill Skarsgård playing Pennywise only had in the entire movie 4 minutes of dialogue. He hardly ever spoke. If he did anything, he was yelling or screaming.
Right.
He had less than 4 minutes of dialogue in the first movie. In the second movie, the motherfucker wouldn't shut up. I swear. I mean, and I think, to me, that kind of took something away from that character.
Yeah,
I think he talked too much in the second movie.
Well, I think, and it was different than. So if you take Curry's his representation, he was more being funny.
Right.
He was hear me out. He was almost Krugerish.
Yeah, I get it.
Funny but evil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's like whenever he was talking to fucking Richie as an adult in the library.
Yeah. And
he's like, beep, Richie. He's up top, you know?
Yeah. When he's, straddling. It's like he's riding the banister.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah.
And it was funnier, though. And this one, with freaking Skarsgård, it was more kind of like I don't even know. Like, it was evil.
It was evil, but it wasn't as creepy and funny as
I compared it to Kruger because Kruger was really funny, but he's really evil.
And it really has nothing to do with I don't think anybody else can play Pennywise other than Tim Curry.
Right.
It just Tim Curry did such a good job at it that I mean, and Bill Skarsgård was just acting out what he was told to do.
And he did good.
He did good. Oh, yeah, I'm not knocking him at all. He did a fantastic job. His look. Now, that's the other thing is his look. Mm-hmm. The way he looked in these two movies fucking knocked it out of the park, dude.
Fuck yeah, dude.
He looked like the fucking evil clown.
Like one eye kind of dude.
And it was funny. I read through a thing where they were going to do that with CGI. Mm-hmm. And Bill Skarsgård's like, no, I think I can pull that off.
Right.
So all that crooked eye shit was actual real.
That's awesome. See, he's a great actor, man.
Yeah.
You know, now,
he did a lot of shit that they didn't think he would be able to do. It was funny. I was reading through a thing. It was a little article that they had wrote about him, and he said it was really weird. There were when they came to do auditions for Pennywise for these new movies, somebody told him he ought to go try out for it. And he decided, all right, he'd go try out for it. There were only 20 people that auditioned for this film, and 18 of them turned it down. And so it was him and one other guy, and goddamn, it was somebody famous too. And they both showed up and did the thing, and the other guy talked Bill Skarsgård into doing it because he didn't want to be pigeonholed as the evil clown.
right.
And so that's how Bill Skarsgård ended up getting the
That's
role.
crazy.
I forget who it was. It was like fucking Kiefer Sutherland or something. I mean, it was like a major actor.
You know,
And what was funny is Bill Skarsgård was telling a story about how fucking ridiculous it was him driving to this interview in full fucking
makeup.
clown makeup. But he did that for a reason. Nobody else did that. He
Right.
showed up in full clown face.
See, well, and then like he's a good actor. Same thing with his brother, you know. But like now he's supposed to be playing fucking Eric Draven.
I don't see him as Eric, but you know, hey, whatever.
That's
To
just,
each his own.
honestly, yeah. And it may, I'm gonna watch it just cause.
Yeah,
Out of
absolutely.
respect.
Absolutely.
But you know, it's a fucking Brandon Lee, dude. Just that movie.
Yeah,
he
you
nailed
can't go wrong with that.
killed that motherfucker, dude. You know. But yeah, so with this with the chapter 1, I'm gonna say like they did very good. The kids were hilarious. You know, and this one is a lot different than the original. Like, there's a lot of vulgarity in this. Like, maybe you can't watch this with your youngins, but it's, you know, pretty vulgar. The kids are freaking just ridiculous. It's super, super funny though to me. Great acting with all his kids. Of course, you know, Finn, he was in Stranger Things and stuff like that. So, but really, really good acting from the kids, and they made it really enjoyable. It was super, super funny. I loved the freaking back and forth with fucking Stanley and Eddie. Like, they are Eddie, like, so in this one, Eddie was more like confident and freaking, you know, he would just give it straight back to Stanley. In the original, he was kind of this really standoffish, almost kind of kid. Really, really good, though. I think that was freaking killer. And then, you know, when they got older, same thing, man, and they just killed it right off the bat. As soon as like Eddie remembered,
Yeah.
when they got back in town, it's like them two were just going back and forth with each other. It was just great, I thought.
I fucked your mom. Dude.
Oh, God.
Yeah, such a cool series. I'm trying to find this. I was reading through
Some trivia.
it was crazy that you know what, maybe it was on the new one. Hold on.
Here we go.
Keep talking there.
So, yeah, the chapter 1, I will say, really, really good. You know, the atmosphere is great on these. Pennywise, you know, Skarsgård killed that. The second one is good. You know, the
Dude,
grown-ups.
there it is, the very first thing.
The grown-ups are great in the second one. It's just, you know, a lot of stuff they threw in there, I feel like they didn't have to.
Yeah.
Like, the whole beginning scene did not really need to happen.
Well, it needed to happen. It just didn't need to go to where it went.
Right.
You know, because, I mean, that's an integral part to the story. We got to kill Giorgio first thing.
Right. Well, I'm talking about the chapter 2.
Oh.
Chapter 2, the opening scene to chapter 2, you know, I feel like
Yeah.
the carnival scene with the gay guys and the stuff that happened. And,
yeah.
You know, they pushed it way too far.
I mean, but it is what it is. I mean, that's, you know.
And don't get mad at me, everybody. Don't make me bring Breezy on here. She's seen it too. We talked about this last night, actually, because Bree was at the house. And those of you who know the show, if you haven't probably known Breezy, she is a lesbian. And I am the.
So am I.
I am the godfather of her daughters, her 2 daughters. But anyways, yeah, she said the same thing. Kind of just went too far.
He's the godfather of soul.
Yes. But they just put too far on that. But other than that, once I got past that, I was like, cool. You know, really dark. I like that. Love the atmosphere between the characters. Like, they really fucking... The acting was great. I loved it, dude. I absolutely loved the way these guys did this. Especially, like I said, that banter between Richie and Eddie.
Yeah.
Like, they still
Which
kept
continues through the entire movie.
Yes.
There were some parts in the second one where it's like... I'll admit to you, I had to stop it and go to bed because I was like, it was kind of dragging.
Dipping.
Now, the second movie is almost 3 hours long.
Correct.
So, you know, by the time I'm going to tell you right now, the last hour of that film is fucking amazing. But by the time I got to that, I was kind of like, all right,
drained.
I'm drained. So I paused it and then I started it back up. I actually watched the last hour of that this morning before we came in here. Because, man, the last hour of that movie is so good, dude. So good. Everything about it. Now, what was cool about this that they didn't really tell us in the original movie was the Indian tribal stuff.
Yes.
They didn't really... In the first movie, you really didn't know
where he came from
or what happened. In the original movie, Bim was the one that went in and figured out, you know, that he was showing up every 27 years, and they figured out where the well house would have been and all this other stuff. In the new one, it was Mike that figured all that out.
Well, he figured out, that like the native, because he never moved.
Yeah, it was funny when in the second movie when Bill shows up at his house and he fucking drugs him and makes him see the.
Oh yeah, he's like, "Did you drug me?"
The visions.
Yeah.
Of what happened, and that's what really pushed Bill into knowing what was going on.
He dosed him.
Fucking nothing like drugging your buddy.
Oh Jesus Christ.
And then that's really weird. What do you do when a buddy of yours calls you from, that you haven't seen in 27 years and you don't even remember why you don't talk to the guy anymore? Because, like we had said, everybody that moved away forgot what had happened.
Yeah, kind of put it out of their mind.
But Mike had stayed there. Like, the way he put it is he stayed there, like, holding watch over the town, waiting. And he didn't want to forget because he, in
case it came back,
which it does. And that's why we get the second movie. And all the adults. And it was really cool whenever they all finally get into town and they're at that restaurant again, and it's the same thing, but they added a little bit to that, like Mike freaking out and grabbing the chair and beating the shit out of the table. It was so funny because the waitress walks in and she's like, "Are you okay?" And he's swinging his chair, beating the shit out of this table.
The one thing they really screwed up in this movie, in the second one, the remake compared to the original, the biggest problem I seen with it was whenever they took the Camaro and turned it into a fucking Mustang.
Yeah. Yeah, I see your point. That Mustang would have been way too fast for Pennywise to catch it.
This is an inside joke, folks, just in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
But no, I noticed that. I was
almost
like,
the same color, though.
Yeah, when I was watching, I was like, oh.
They were both convertibles.
Yeah.
Because I remember thinking that, a 5.0 convertible, you dumbass, you should have bought a hardtop. But anyway.
But no, man.
But yeah.
It was really good. I love the atmosphere. Some things I think they could have, whatever. Everybody.
I love the end of it. It was just, and it wasn't because, there are times I love the end of a movie because I'm like, thank God it's fucking over. This, I wasn't like that. When that last hour could have lasted fucking 3 hours for me, and I'd have fucking ate every bit of it up.
Right.
Because it was so good. And then the thing that was kind of weird, though, and you're going to love this, and I hope you fucking noticed it, when they get to the very end, and they're walking down the road, and they look into the window, and they see all themselves as kids, and then they all jump on their bikes, and they fucking ride off. Did you see the marquee on the theater?
Well, what? Yeah, I know it was
Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5.
Yeah.
I was like, dude.
Because that's cool. And there was another one. Wasn't there what was the one that was on from when they were kids? It showed the marquee, and it had another movie on there.
Yeah. God, what was it?
Because Krista pointed out to me, she's like, "Oh, check this." She's like,
wasn't it Dawn of the Dead or something like that? I think it was Dawn of the Dead.
Because she was like, "Oh, check out the movie."
In the first, God, I remember catching that, but I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of excited for you at the end of that when I saw the Nightmare on Elm Street. Because I was like, oh, fuck, I wonder if he caught that.
Yeah, see,
it was kind of cool. So, I had said to you guys earlier at the beginning of this that this reminded me of a horror version of Stand By Me. And I think the reason why that hit me was because of the end of the second movie, the way they ended it. And they talked about how even being a loser, you still have your friends. You still got those people that
your tribe
will be your friends forever, and you'll never lose those friends. I don't know. It was kind of cool the way they ended that. I was gonna write down what the whole thing that he said there, and I never got around to it, but it was really cool the way Mike was explaining that, and like how, some friends come and go, and you lose friends throughout your life, but true losers always stick together, and it was just cool.
And that's why we have this podcast.
Yeah, because we're a couple losers in a fucking garage here.
We'll stick together.
All right, so let me hit you with some fucked up trivia here. If you guys get online, you'll catch a lot of this shit that I'm going to talk about. But this one is fairly long, and I just thought it was cool when I ran across it. It says the number 27 is often associated with this story. This film was released 27 years after the original. So the first one came out in 1990. Second one came out in 2017. In the book, it is mentioned that it returns to Derry approximately every 27 years. Jonathan Brandis, who played young Bill in the original film, died at 27 years old. This movie was released 1 month after Bill Skarsgård, who plays Pennywise, 1 month after his 27th birthday. Jared Martell, who plays Bill in this new one, and Jeremy Ray Taylor, who plays Ben, and Nicholas Hamilton, who played Henry, are all 27 years younger than the actors who portrayed the same character in the miniseries from 1990, which was Jonathan Brandis, Brandon Crane, and Jared Blanchard. The official U.S. release date was September 8th, 2017. 9 plus 8 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 7 is 27. The second film will be released, so this came out before. The second film was released on September 6th of 2019, And 9 plus 6 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9 is 27. That's fucking cool, dude.
Well, it's like you know what the 27 Club is, right?
Yeah. The bunch of people that had died, like River Phoenix and
Jimi Hendrix,
Janis Joplin,
fucking a bunch of them.
Didn't Jim Morrison die when he was 27
right.
too?
Mm-hmm. 27 Club, man. Pretty crazy.
The director of this was Andy Muschietti. I don't know. But anyway, it was kind of cool. He kept Bill Skarsgård separate from the child actors up until they had to shoot scenes together. So these kids never even saw Pennywise until they shot their first scene with him. And he did that so that it would affect them more.
Differently, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The kids... The staff warned the kids about how scary Skarsgård could be while in character. The kids brushed this off, claiming that they knew he was just an actor in a costume and that they were professionals and would be fine. However, when the time came for Skarsgård to be Pennywise for the scene, the kids were genuinely terrified.
Wasn't there's like a video or like a little pictures of Skarsgård in full outfit, freaking out Bill Hader, like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They had to think about that.
Yeah. We talked about, the kids wanting certain actors and stuff, like Jaden Martell, who played Bill. He really wanted Christian Bale to play him as an adult, which I don't know that would have worked out. But anyway, it didn't happen.
That might have worked out. Christian Bale.
And then the guy that played Ben, the kid that played Ben, he really wanted Chris Pratt to play him as an adult.
That would have been
really good. That would have been good.
I think that guy who played him.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job.
Chris Pratt would have been fucking perfect too. He already would have been filming some of the. I bet they couldn't get him because he was filming fucking Jurassic World shit
or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah.
But yeah, just there's some really interesting stuff. If you get into, like, I use Internet Movie Database all the time, imdb.com. And if you get in there, they've got a trivia section underneath. And, man, there is so much cool stuff in here that I was just like, wow, that's insane.
So,
they talked a lot about Bill Skarsgård being able to, a couple of the things, which it's in here somewhere, I could read it to you, but I'll just tell you about it. A couple of the things that were really cool that once I read that, because, I'm watching a movie and I'm looking through here because I always look at actors and stuff like that. And I got into this trivia section and I didn't realize it until I read this. In the first movie, I told you that Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise had less than 4 minutes of dialogue. Also, another strange thing, in that entire movie, Pennywise only blinks twice.
That's crazy.
The rest of the time, he blinks once at the beginning when he's in the sewer with Georgie, and then once at the very end. The rest of the time, every time you see him, you never see him blink. And his face is on screen for long periods of time.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was kind of cool,
Oh.
But, man, so much good stuff about these movies, man.
So, it's that time. Which one do you prefer?
God, that's tough, dude. I would have to go with the original, strictly because of who I am, and I love that older feel and that nostalgia of the original. But I am going to tell you that the last hour of the second movie fucking trumps anything.
Yeah.
I just thought it was that good. Now, I love all the actors that played. Like, I am a big McAvoy fan. Mm-hmm. Dude, his fucking character in Split, dude. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. His ability to snap from one character to another in the blink of an eye. Jesus. Dude, that guy is a fucking phenomenal actor. But anyway, I would have to go with the original.
Yeah, I actually really, really do I like the remake a lot. I fucking
Oh,
love,
I do too.
I love the kids. They funny as fuck. Like, just, I loved everything about that stuff. But I'm with you. And it's mainly just for me. I'm going to be, like, you guys already know this if you listen to our podcast. It's all about nostalgia.
Yeah.
And, like, man, like, that movie just, the original, the way it's narrated, the way it's freaking scored, like, it just,
it
hits you a certain way, you know, for me.
Yeah, me too. I think for me, it's that old feel. Now, I am going to say this, though. If somebody ever came to me and said, hey, I want to watch an It movie. I've never watched an It movie. I am probably more than likely going to show them this new series.
For sure.
Because of its modern feel
right.
and the graphics of it. There is some CGI in there, and some of the little things that they did throughout that movie, stuff that a lot of people may not catch, was just magical.
Like, for me, I'm not taking anything away from the remake. I think it was great, for sure. But like you're talking about those little things, like the part where they kill Pennywise and his head starts to slowly
Well,
flake off.
Did you notice that every time there was something to do with blood or something like that, the blood always went up?
Right.
You know, even when Beverly Marsh is an adult, which I can't believe we didn't talk about her more. But even her as an adult, when she's trapped in that stall in the bathroom, and the blood comes up from the floor and stuff, and all the people's faces are trying to get through the door. It was. There's a lot of cool stuff at the end of that, like you said, with his head, when his head started doing that, and then it did the same thing at the end of the second one. Whenever it wasn't so much him, because in the second one, if you remember, they pull his heart out, and he ends up like almost melting into the thing. But the formation that was down there like had like blood or water or something on it, and it kept floating up into the air. You know, and like remember in the first one, like the kids were floating up into the air and stuff until they, took him out, and then they all fell back down. But
I didn't think about that too, because Stephen King wasn't in the original.
No, but he was in the new one. He played the.
I know he said he liked
thrift store.
He said he liked what they did with the.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and it was funny. I remember when they showed him, I was like, what the hell?
Crazy times. But no, I would highly recommend both the versions of this. I think they're both great.
Wait.
I don't remember Stephen King being in the original.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because in the original, Bill got the bike back from Mike. Mike had found the bike
at the pawn shop.
At a pawn shop, and it was in his shed. And Bill put it back together,
and that's
silver.
And that's what he said. He's like, I bought this tire repair kit 2 weeks before I found the bike.
Yeah.
Just out of whatever. Impulse buy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But yeah, man, and I don't know. I would highly suggest both these movies.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. They're both great. For me, the nostalgia value for the original, man, I just love the way they narrated, the way everything about it was just, like you said, is that old kind of like, back before you didn't have all this information right at your fingertips, back when everything was a mystery, like stuff was creepy like that, and it still is that way.
But some of the stuff they did in this new one was just like, dude, I can't believe they fucking did that, dude. That's badass. And I'm not just talking about Georgie's arm. I'm just, dude, the leper and like, for Eddie, when his mom's strapped in that chair in the basement. And, oh, dude, that whole scene was fucking creepy as hell, dude. There was a lot more, to me, I think there was a lot more creep and horror in the new one
for sure
than there was in the
For
original.
Sure.
But the original just had you so far in your own head.
Right.
Right. Just, I'm going to tell you, if you ever get a chance, it really was a cool experience to watch all of these movies back to back.
Mm-hmm.
I watched them in order, and I watched them back to back, and it was a cool experience. I'm going to tell you right now, I was not an It fan until this week. And now I see it.
You're welcome.
I get it. So thanks,
and this is the whole point of why we do stuff like this too. Is to bring awareness to certain things, man. Sometimes some stuff you forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had forgotten almost everything about the original movie.
Mm-hmm.
The new one, we had just seen it not too long ago.
Right. Yeah. Well, my kids.
Oh my God, that was 7 years ago.
That's crazy.
Almost 6.5.
Kids love that stuff. My kids love that shit.
But the original, I haven't watched it in probably 30 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is freaking crazy, dude.
Yeah. Maybe I had, but I don't. Like I said, it never was one of my top movies.
Right.
But
yeah, man, guys, I highly suggest you watch.
Yeah, very fun. I'm glad we did this. It was cool. It was enlightening, eye opening. I got my scare on.
I like the concept of like we've talked about many times. I'm big in good fighting evil or just fighting evil in general. Not necessarily good. It could be fucking something bad, some badass fighting, whatever. I'm just into that. And these kids
be some fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, these kids coming together as friends and fighting evil,
looking for Ray Brower's body. Oh no, wait, that's Stand By Me. Sorry.
Great movie. Anyways, that's it, guys. That's the show for tonight. We appreciate you. You're gonna want to check out our next episode we do because believe we're gonna be doing some deep diving into some stuff about this whole UFO and
we're going to be doing some muff diving into some UFO stuff.
And actually we'll do some.
I like my UFO
and try to get behind, see what's behind some of the shit we're seeing. So check that out, guys.
Absolutely.
Go check out our TikTok, all that good stuff. I'm trying to do stuff over there. So check us out, guys. You might even see his ugly mug over there sometime.
Maybe.
Anyways, we love you, horror fam. Thank you for support as always. But more importantly, as always, until next time.